Yep.
Hey,
Now I got the
Charles.
live. I got that live thing.
Because we're live.
Yeah. First time I seen him in a while.
It's live, Charles. We are live.
Yep.
We are live.
Yep.
Aloha, everybody. Hang on, real quick. Boom. Hit that switch. Hit that switch. Oh, I feel like when the kind producers with all, all of, you guys musicians get all that buttons.
Yep.
That's kind of what I feel like right now. But I only get 2 buttons. I only get 2 buttons. Okay, where are we going now? Where's my comments here? How come I don't have any comments?
I got 21 people on right now.
Yeah, I see the 24, but nobody had put on comments. I cannot hit the comment. There we go. Here it is. There it is. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Charles. How are you doing, Charles?
I'm doing fine, brother. Doing fine.
How
really
was your
today.
day? How was your day? I'm so excited for tonight's show. And excuse for the hat, but
well, folks, I tried to answer, but he just went overrun me. So, but I had a beautiful day. Thank you, Mel. Okay, you can continue, Mel.
I just said see myself in the screen and like, I don't know if I should wear it this way or this way.
You do them the other way. You look like Opie Cunningham, from the Mayberry RFD.
Wow.
Now you look like a gangster. Now you look like a gangster.
Well, sorry. That's just how it's gonna be. Because either that or this.
Oh no. Now put the hat back on. Put the hat back on, Mel.
Look how long this thing is. So anyway. So your day, how was your day? I see Sandy Howitt on there. She's watching us. Yeah, she should have forced me to cut my hair. Sandy was the one that made the generous donation of $1,000 to Hawaii Community Foundation. Sandy, you're the best, girl. I did check with Kirk this morning, and your shirt is in process. He had to order a special order for you, and like I told you, whatever you want, he gonna make. So that we should have that in the next few days or so. But anyway, Mel, you can cut your hair tomorrow. I know Baba Shop's open, but I think I'm gonna let them grow. I like to see how long this thing can actually get. I think I'm gonna just let this bad boy grow. Just let him grow. Wear one hat.
Yeah, but then you look like Cousin It, from Addams Family. You can get so much hair. She cut him.
Kind of like it. I kind of like the long hair. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Patsy is like, no, you gotta cut him, but nah. Plus, can you imagine how long it would take for get into the barbershop right now? There's 70,000 people on this island that about half must be guys that's needing a barber. So anyway, tonight we have an amazing show tonight. But a response we had on the post, Kevin Matsunaga, who's the media teacher out at Chiefess Kamakahele. We all know him. We all love him. This guy is amazing with the kids. And I'm not gonna steal his thunder. We'll let him talk about what they're doing. But we thought it would be interesting to bring a kid's perspective, a student's perspective on this whole crisis and what the kids are doing during these changing times. And lucky no more Brillo pad here. I'm not gonna look at the comments for a while. But just to hear from the kids, we did see Ms. Cummings, who you're going to meet in a little bit from Kamehameha School. She did a PSA that went viral, and she was interviewing one of the doctors on Oahu about the importance of wearing a mask. And it was just amazing how that little young girl was able to be so professional. So I know Kevin has a lot in store for us, and he's a technical guru. So I'm assuming he's gonna have some stuff to show us. So I'm excited. And how about you, Charlie?
Well, I try to go online. I went looking today. I tried to go online to buy some shears, like that Wall brand, or Whale, I think they call it.
Wall,
but they're all out. They're all out because the shears I was looking for, the Model 60. It's 6 feet long, and they're all out. And I see some guys using 6 feet shears, so they stay within the social distancing. But man, you got to get good accuracy when you use 6 feet worth of shields, because one wrong slip and you go in for a haircut, come out missing 2 ears. You know what I mean? So, but I had a beautiful day.
That's my fear. Me, I go to Ikeda Barber Shop. I've been going to Ikeda Barber Shop for 50 plus years. And they never practiced for a long time. It's been a long time. So I'm gonna let everybody go and get them back in practice, get their skills back up to par, and then I'm gonna hit them.
Yeah, you gotta watch, because when they lose practice long time, they cut like one the EKG machine. I think when jump one time, cut, jump one time. So you might have a lot of rat bites on the side with kind of a lot of jumps. So you gotta be careful.
All right. Well, let's bring in our guest here. This is gonna be, I think it's just gonna be fun. So let me bring them all in. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Yeah. Here comes, look at that, Amalia. No. Oh, look at this guy. Charlie, look at this kid. He get earphones. Look, he get that guy. I don't know. I cannot see his name. Let me see. Oh, Blazing Films. Blaze Silva. He just changed his name. You saw that? This kid is high tech. And he get the kind of earphones like the professionals. And then we get, of course, Kevin Matsunaga, the hero. Let me unmute Kevin. And who's this one here?
That's Dave. That's Dave the kind. That's Dave Brahmin.
And who is this here? Let me see. Who is this here?
Amelia.
Amalia.
Look at Gracie. I remember her. That's the girl I was talking about. She like, what is she? Look at her. Oh my God. That girl. I told you I was excited. We do this every night, and we get old people. Every night we get old people, And hey, Kevin, is that you? You look different from the picture we had posted on the.
I am very thankful that online in the Twitter or, internet universe only get old pictures of me, so that, I look a lot younger than I actually am.
Okay. Well, 4 of us here are young. 4 of us are young. 4 of us are old.
Correct.
No, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. 3 of us are old. So anyway, Kevin, thank you.
Are you referring to me as one of the old guys?
I plead the fifth. Thank you, Kevin, and I'm going to let you introduce all the kids. But I just want to say we're excited to have you tonight. Charlie and I, again, like I just said, we have a lot of elected officials and dignitaries and all these people that make decisions, and we wanted to share our young people's perspective on how's this changing world, this life now. We gotta look at this. We gotta do this on a computer. But then I saw Gracie's thing, and then I talked to her. I guess it's her cousin, her Auntie Sherry, and I said, "You think she would be willing to come on our show and share a little bit?" And her dad was, "I don't know if she can be on the show." I said, "Of course she can." And then, of course, when we talk about kids, we thought about Kevin and said, "Hey, let's ask Kevin. Maybe Kevin can help us out." And of course, Kevin quickly said, "Absolutely." So, Kevin,
yep.
Up on the screen, you see the other old man. That's Charlie Iona. How's it,
brother? How's it, Charlie?
He's an entertainer by trade, and among other things. But we're just gonna turn this over to you, Kevin, and then take the time, introduce yourself a little bit, and then all of these rising stars. Look at this kid, Blaze. He's just like tripping me out with that earphone. He's intimidating. I'm kind of afraid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well,
Kevin.
do you want to let Gracie go first? If because she's the youngest. If you guys want her to start off, we can have her start.
Gracie.
You can say hi, Gracie.
Hi.
Gracie, we saw you on Facebook. We saw you doing that interview with the doctor. Who's that guy next to you, by the way?
The doctor.
Gracie, who's that sitting next to you?
My dad.
Aw, and what's your dad's name?
My name.
Daniel.
Daniel.
No, I'm so sorry. I don't know where the disconnect was, but that was just me pretending, bro. I'm not a doctor at all. She just interviewed me in our hallway. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh my God. Oh, that
yeah,
was you behind the mask.
Dr. Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
see.
no, no.
See that?
I
So,
think we have like a
Gracie,
future CKTV student,
absolutely.
right? If she's doing interviews already at that age, I don't know how any of our students with us tonight have been doing that at that young of an age, but we are, keep it up, Gracie, and we will be happy to have you at CKTV when you get to middle school.
Gracie, how old are you, Gracie?
5.
Oh,
Oh,
One more week.
oh. So Gracie, if you can share with us a little bit, how did that happen? How did this all start? This public service announcement that you did so well. How did it start?
So I'm coming up to first grade,
And yeah, you have to do
and
a
yeah, I
PSA
had to
project.
do a PSA.
For school?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to Kamehameha School.
Yes.
So whose idea was it to interview Dr. Dad?
Dad.
No, that was your idea. I mean, I was the only person around that. She, I thought a song would be easier. We play music together, she and I. And I told her, oh, we can just make a song, but she wanted to do a news report for some reason. So I didn't want to stand in her way. So we did a little 1-minute PSA for her class project, and they just played it for the class today. So they all got to see everybody's work, and it was really cool. And it was really cool because a bunch of people were resharing it, and Malika Dudley shared it, and all my friends that have like connections in news and stuff were sending it in and stuff. So I thought that was pretty good.
So Gracie, can I ask you a question? So how did you decide to want to do a news type of PSA instead of doing a song? Do you watch some TV with mom and dad?
Yes.
And is that something that you might want to do when you grow up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we definitely have to sign her up. Let's go. How did you guys come up with the idea to do that? Because I know it takes a lot of effort to think of an idea and then have to go and execute it. So how did you come up with that idea?
So what was the topic, Gracie?
Aloha kikahi kikahi.
So they had a topic, and they had to come up with something relevant. And what did you notice about everything going on? What is everybody doing?
Each other.
What are they doing?
Wearing.
So, wearing masks and kind of distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
well, Dad, let me ask you something, Dad. Because we've been on a lockdown for some time, right?
Yep.
How has your daughter been? How has she been handling? I know she's young, but they have a sense of that things just aren't right now. What have you as a family been doing together with her to kind of help her through this? And how have you been on the off time telling her what we're faced with and what some of the dangers are? So can you kind of explain to us what you've been doing?
Oh, that's a heavy one. What we've been doing, I think, just kind of talking our kids through what's going on in a way that they don't get scared, and slowly getting them used to little things like having to wear masks when we walk out of our building and stuff like that, and having to stay in the car when we shop because we're used to going in the store and stuff. But I think that's just it, just talking through things, and always checking to see how she feels. My son is only 2, so he's not there yet, but yeah, just checking on her and seeing how she's doing, because it's definitely not the same, man. It's not being able to interact with classmates at her age is
Right.
so sad, seeing them having to I mean, it's cool using technology and stuff, using Zoom like that, and she's fortunate that her class can do that. Man, it is kind of hard to watch. Especially as today was actually their last day of school.
Mhm.
Okay, so she attends Kamehameha. Is this the Kapalama campus?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that means that we're alumni together,
That's-
she and I. Yeah.
Charlie graduated from Kamehameha.
Wow. Well, I'm very proud of her. Last thing I want to ask you is with again, she being so young, she kind of realizes that things aren't the same. And has she ever said to you or your wife, mommy, why is this way or anything like that? Or does she's pretty much a happy child?
I think my light is it's
Yeah,
blinking.
she's adapting pretty well. I would say she's smart, man. She's smart,
Mhm.
and I think she can gauge that we're not freaking out. We have, I mean, times are definitely uncertain, but I think it's important for parents to just kind of stay informed to the point where you know enough to comfort your children and know how to act around them because she's 5 years old and I know she's watching everything. My son is watching everything too, so I think a lot of it is just composure and but unfortunately she makes it easy. So
Okay.
Well, Gracie,
Yeah, that's a
I
tough
cannot
thing.
wait. I cannot wait to see you, Gracie, on the KHNL or one of those channels when you get older to be the news reporter. You're gonna be awesome, girl. You're gonna be really, really awesome.
you can talk, Gracie. She's acting. She's not shy. She's just.
All
So
right. Well,
Gracie,
oh,
let
go
me
ahead,
ask you
buddy.
one quick question. One more question. What do you miss most about school? What's the one thing that you think you miss the most?
PE and music.
Yeah, those are fun classes to take. Yeah, in school.
Classes.
What do you play, Gracie? What music instrument? What instrument do you play or sing or what do you do?
What do you do, Gracie? She likes to sing.
All right. All right. All right.
Oh,
Well, hang
keep
tight
it
there,
up.
Gracie.
Yeah, keep it up, Gracie. And then hopefully we'll see you extending your learning and taking the places of our students here. So keep that up.
Thank you.
Hey, Gracie, feel free to stay on and watch these older students and find out what they're doing right now with media and you might learn something or maybe you'll teach them. I don't know.
All right.
Thank you, Gracie. All right,
Thank
Kevin.
you, Gracie.
Thank you.
All right. I thought I would start off, just to go over a couple of things that our program does in case there are some people out there that aren't familiar with our program and what we do. I'm going to take over the screen and just share a couple of slides. Can you guys throw that over to me so I can have access to be able to take that over?
Absolutely. Can you now?
Yeah, I think so. Let me try. Yeah.
I'm hearing an echo from somebody. I'm not sure who. Maybe it's
I'm not
me.
too sure either. All right. So, our program, can you guys see that, the CKTV?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the name of our program. To give you a little bit of background on us, I started the program back in 2000 when CKMS opened. It started as one elective course. We only had 16 students at the time, and we did a live morning broadcast. So when Chiefus opened, we were the new school. We were touted as the latest, greatest with technology. That was supposed to be something that, we were really focusing on. And so the principal at the time, Maggie Cox, wanted, she didn't want just a regular PA system morning announcement. She wanted it on TV. And so when I applied for the job, that was one of the things that she asked that, that I do. And so once I started at the school, I was actually hired as a technology coordinator. I'm the person that kind of takes care of all the computers. So I was like setting up our network and installing computers and software and monitoring printers and all that kind of stuff. But I taught this one class because I needed students to run the morning broadcast during our advisory period. So we started it back then with just that one class. Now we've grown it to, we have a beginning media course that's also taught by Mr. Levi Miyashiro. So he helps me teach that class, and we have 5 sections of that beginning class. And in that class, anybody can take the class as long as you're interested. And David, who's with us tonight, is one of our beginning students. And I'm going to talk to him next about some of the things that, he's done in the class. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to ask David to talk a little bit about some of the things that he's learned in our beginning class.
Hey, David, real quick. I got to ask, what shirt are you wearing? I just have a feeling. Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know why, man. I just had a feeling that you'd be wearing that shirt. But thank you so much, David. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, he's a smart guy to wear the shirt of the host, right? To come into this show, right? Nice job, David.
Thank you. Well, before all this happened, what we started with was we learned how to set up a tripod and learn how to use a camera. And then once we learned how to use things, we started going into different types of angles and shots. So we learned how to make our shots look good, and what whoever was looking at, we learned what they would see first and how to make them better. And then we started getting into videos. And I think one of our first ones was Mr. M gave us he took apart a video and gave us the shots and said, recreate this video. And we did that. And then we started making our own videos. I personally did a PSA on bullying, and we all did different PSAs that were littering, bullying, things like that. And then we did pictures for CKTV, like background pictures. And then now I don't have the equipment and stuff. So I've been getting my iPad and using iMovie, and I made a PSA about washing your hands, and I've been having fun and trying to keep up with all the media stuff.
Yeah. So once we started this, stay at home type of, distance learning, one of the assignments that I would, send out to the students is to do like a quarantine photo challenge. And so I would, assign different topics and have the students go out into, in their home or their backyard and take photos that match the topics. And then, so David was one of the few students that was, doing everything. This thing with this enrichment learning that we've been going through in this last quarter of school. It's been tough because for the students, they don't have to do it, right? It is something that is, optional. It's enrichment. And part of the problem is because we have no way of making sure that every single student has access to the content and to the lessons. And so they couldn't turn around and make lessons count as grades. And that was tough. And once students found that out, then it became really hard for them to always come in and check in and get work done. But David's one of the few students, that I've had where he went through and, completed every single assignment. And I actually gave him another, to extend that a little bit. Instead of just shooting photos, I said, hey, I think you're, see what you can do about putting a sequence together. And I said, yeah, just maybe do something on washing your hands, something simple. And he just turned around and just made it a PSA. So he went above and beyond and just did that and sent it to me, asked me for some feedback. I gave him some feedback. He went back, made a couple of changes, sent it back to me. And then we included it in our show that we have 3 times a week. So, David's just a great example. He's going to be in our advanced class next year. We're looking forward to having him, right?
Yes.
And but he's just a great example of, you know, someone who is just, you know, still not letting this coronavirus thing get in the way of his learning. He's still pushing and still doing things, and we're going to be happy to have him next year.
Hey, David, how old are you, David?
I'm 12. I'm gonna be 13 in November.
And you pretty good with iMovie?
I mean, to be honest, when I started, I had taken one class at an Apple store on Oahu, and that was it. I had messed around a few times and put a few pictures, but other than that, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was learning, and at the same time, I was making a video.
Awesome. Yeah, I need some help with that. I was hoping you can teach me, but maybe we can learn together, bro. Let's have a Zoom one day, and you can show me what you know, because I can put a movie together. I have a little bit problems with the editing and clipping and all of that, but maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So David's part of our beginner class, like I said, and you know, he's just been doing a great job. Let me go back to the slide. Hold on. Let me go back and just get you guys so that you guys can see it again. All right. So David's part of our, like I mentioned, our beginner media courses. We have 5 sections, and then we also have advanced courses that, you know, students like David who want to continue in their second and third year at Chiefus, they can go ahead and jump into our advanced class. We do have 2 levels of our advanced class. We have a level 1 class that kind of just takes what they've done in the beginning media class and bring them up a level. But most of the assignments, or, you know, almost all of the assignments, you know, just stay in school. There's not a lot of outside community work or extra things. And then if you want to do those things, that's for our level 2 class. That's our traveling class. And that's the group that I think a lot of people are familiar with when they hear of CKTV. You know, that's the class that a lot of people know us the most, I guess. I also teach the yearbook class at school, and so I do have 1 period of that. To talk a little bit about our advanced class, the level 2 class, they produce a daily morning news show, and we used to do it live. So when the school first opened, and for several years, actually all the way up until the beginning of this year, for 20 years, we did a live show. We went out, you know, we have teams. Students are broken up into teams. They have different responsibilities. And then all of these responsibilities are rotated on a schedule so that everybody has a chance to do every different type of job. So we have like a director who runs the whole broadcast. We have, you know, we had titlers that handled all the graphics and titles and spelled names correctly, that kind of stuff. We had a technical director that made the switching between our cameras and maybe some of our other feeds that we were, you know, using for the show. And then when we had our talent, we had our students that were our announcers, and then we had camera people. And so it was a big thing. And we did that for 20 years. And this year we decided to, instead of going live, we decided to do a show that was taped. And so we kind of switched gears a little bit. And so that meant that we had to complete the shows a little early, because they needed to be edited, put together ahead of time, and then we put them up on a website. And then when students have their advisory class in the morning, their teachers go to the website, watch the video, and then everyone in school gets to watch it. So it's not live like it used to be, but it's a little different. It has, though, really increased the talent and how well our students are working, because they're doing the editing, they're doing the shooting every single day. They're not, you know, doing it, you know, maybe once a quarter like we used to when they had to do different types of videos. They are shooting content every single day. They're editing every day. And I think that's what really made our class, you know, pretty strong this year. So that's our morning news show. Another thing we do is, you know, if you're old like me and Mel and Charlie, right? You listen to FM 97 or older. I'll say older, right? FM 97 is, you know, they've been a great partner to us for several years. When Jason Fujinaka was on the air. He was like their young guy, and we developed a relationship with them in which we provide what we call the inside scoop on what's going on in our Kauai school. So we have students in our advanced level 2 class that are paired up. And every week we have 2 new students that their job is to kind of report on what's happening in all of our Kauai schools. And it doesn't matter if it's public, private, charter, whatever information we can find, we try and put it in the scoop. And so if you ever heard students on the air on FM 97 talking about things that are happening, in our schools, those are our schools. I mean, those are our students. And we did that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we had clips 2-minute audio files that students had to go and research all the information. They had to call schools. They had to write scripts. They had to record themselves. They had to edit it, and they had to have it ready the week before it actually aired. So the Friday before it aired on the next Monday, they had to turn it into me. Then I would, make sure I listened to it, make sure there were no mistakes. Then I send it off to the radio station, and the radio station plays it on those days, 3 times a day. So that was, FM 97. We haven't done that since the whole pandemic thing started because there haven't been anything really to report in schools. All, school sports and all that kind of stuff got kind of canceled. And so there was really nothing for us to report. So that kind of stopped for the meantime. What we've also been doing over the last couple of years is we've been running the Kauai Grown program's social media accounts. So the Kauai Grown program is a local organization. They're kind of an offshoot of the Kauai Farm Bureau. And they promote just local farmers and local businesses that, that grow things here and produce things on our island. And they wanted some help with establishing, a social media presence online. And so they came to us with a grant, provided a very generous donation to our program. And what we did in turn was to create their accounts on Instagram, on Twitter, and Facebook. And our students went out, took a majority of the photos. We were given some of the photos from a professional photographer who, started with the Kauai Grown program when it first began. But our students went out to take a lot of the photos. They wrote all of the posts. And we were, up until the pandemic, we were posting, a couple of times each week to all of the accounts. Everything is done all by our students. They write everything, they create the post, and they're in charge of actually posting it. And we've gained quite a bit of followers, through the different social media platforms. And our students have done, really well taking care of that. And then the last thing, we've also been doing, and this actually started during the pandemic, was we created a podcast. So if if you are out there and you enjoy listening to different types of, audio podcasts, there are several out there done by schools. And we were inspired by a podcast that was from the mainland. It was a friend of mine. And his name is Dave Davis, and he's an advisor over at Hillcrest High School in Springfield, Missouri. His students were doing daily posts once the pandemic started. And so I played that for our students during one of our video calls, and we were inspired to start our own. And so I have right now 9 students, they're all girls, who have been part of this podcast program. They are doing everything remotely. We found a piece of technology that allows us to call in together, so we can, it's almost like this, in which you call in remotely and then you can listen to one another. But what they're doing is we're recording audio, and the girls are coming up with different topics. They're interviewing people. They're, pulling in recordings, and then they'll just kind of just talking about things that have happened. And so we have, I think it's about 4 episodes up right now. The next one is going to go up this week. And it's just a different range of topics. The last one was on TikTok. So I don't know if you know anything about TikTok.
Nope.
If you don't, you can go and listen to the podcast, and you'll learn, all you need to know about TikTok. we have another episode coming up on, what the future holds for schools, and that'll be interesting. We had another past episode that talked about, students and what they thought about distance learning and what they felt worked and what didn't work. And so those are some of the things that we've been doing. The last thing I don't have a slide on is, but we're also doing a joint project with Kealakehe Intermediate School in Kona. Right now, we have a group of students that are working together on a video, and we've been working on it probably about the last month or so. And we're going to debut it next week, Wednesday. And it's just what we wanted to do. The teacher, Mr. Matthew Williams, and we both wanted to just show what distance learning could look like, during this time. And so we knew each other from before, and so we each run similar programs. And so we decided to, hook up our students and then work together on a video. And it's going to be sort of like a PSA type of a video. We have several different parts to it. We have about 20 students that are working on it from both Kauai and Kona. And we're putting all the pieces together, writing scripts, and we hope to have it done by Wednesday. I mean, we're running out of time. And so we're trying to get that done. Anyway, I wanted to bring in our students now to kind of talk about some of the things that they've been doing in these two classes. So I have Blaze also with us and Amalia. Blaze, they're both actually first-year students to our advanced program. They were in our beginner program before this, but this is actually their first year in our advanced class. Both have been outstanding students this year in different areas. Blaze is kind of like our editor and our tech guy and our photographer. He loves to, do all the technical stuff, and he does a lot of things on his own. He just has this love for photography and filmmaking, and he learns a lot of things on his own. I mean, the setup he has in his home rivals the stuff we have in school. And then Amalia, as a seventh grader, she's excelled in just speaking. She's one of our top students that can get in front of the camera and just really do a fantastic job in just having great presence and speaks well. And we've just been so blessed to have these guys with us. And so I guess I'll turn it over to them. I'll ask Blaze first. If you can tell us, some of the things that, how, we've heard about what the class does, but maybe if you can tell us a little bit about what school has been like for you since the pandemic started, and, like, what have your lessons been like, not only with our class, but in your other classes?
So, it's been very different. Not seeing your friends every day where you walk into class, and having to do work from home on a laptop and talk to your friends on a laptop. That it was really hard at first, but I kind of got used to it already. And yeah, if you guys might not know, but we went to STN this year and it got canceled. So the beginning of this whole quarantine and this stay-at-home order was kind of hard because we were dealing with that plus not seeing our friends and stuff. But yeah, it's a very different change, but it should be a good one. It will come out good. That's what I hope.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, STN stands for the Student Television Network, and we travel. That's the convention that we travel to every year, Mel. So we go to the mainland every year and compete. And this year it was in Washington, D.C., and we flew all the way there. And then the day before the convention was to start, it got canceled because, it was then announced, that it was a global pandemic, and then the mayor shut things down. And so we didn't get to participate, but we still did get to see a lot of things in DC, which wasn't a bad thing. Amalia, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how, school has been like for you.
Sort of like Blaze, it's different not being able to see each other every single day and not like working with our teachers and classmates. But it's also been kind of the same because we get to talk to each other mostly like every week at least. So it's been a good experience, and it's also taught not only me, but I'm pretty sure everyone else in school and all the students out there that, we can actually miss school. Because before we might not like it, or we might not want it to like wake up and go to school early, but now we want to really bad, but we can't, sadly.
Do you think, then this question is for all three of you. Can you guys tell me, do you think, how have your teachers been? Have they been prepared for this new way of learning, and how have your teachers adapted to it? Maybe we'll start with David.
Yeah, all of my teachers have been really good. At first I was thinking, when are my teachers gonna post things? I was a little worried, like when, because I was thinking, what if I have one teacher who posts something at 7 and another who posts something at noon? Like, what if one of my teachers is like a sleeper? But it turns out all of my teachers were really good. Nothing changed except for we have to use Zoom and Google Meets. But we've been using Google Classroom for years, I think. So, I mean, it wasn't that different. And the times will start at 7, 8 a.m. So it's all in really good time, and things have worked out for me.
Okay. All right. Blaze, how about you? How have your teachers adjusted to this new way of teaching?
I think it was kind of like, at first they were kind of like, oh, what are we gonna put together for the students? But now I think they've got it under control, and I feel like they handled the situation well.
Okay. How about you, Amalia?
Well, most of my teachers at first, they didn't really get it, like David and Blaze. But I think now that like we've gotten used to it, especially with 2 months off of school, they've gotten used to it, and they've been doing a pretty good job. And it's a great experience as well, because we got to um, try new things. I know a lot of my teachers, they said, I'm not used to all of these techie kind of stuff. So they learn new things as well. So that's pretty great.
Well, it's just amazing that you folks are getting, they say every cloud has a silver lining, and and you look at this pandemic, or and it's a lot of good has come out of it. Part of it is getting our kids and on our adults. I mean, look at Uncle Charlie. He's almost 100 years old, and we got him to learn how to do Zoom. And so a lot of people are learning new things. I did want to look at Charlie. That smile is when he's angry, he's mad. But I think for those of you like in the senior class or in the advanced class, what would you tell Gracie, who's sitting over there, and look at her big eyes and just watching us? And what kind of advice would you give to Gracie as she's 5 years old? My Lord, 5 years old. What advice? Let's start with you, Blaze. What advice would you give Gracie?
I think the advice I would give her is that just don't stop dreaming, because one day I was in David's position thinking about, oh yeah, I want to go STN, go media, do everything. And I'm here doing media, doing what I love on the daily. So I would just tell her, don't stop dreaming, just keep on going, because you'll eventually, you'll have fun along the way.
Malia?
My advice to her is that never stop. At first I didn't realize that, oh, I was going to join this class. But then once I started to get used to it, learning all the things that I need to know, I fell in love with it. And now that looking back to before, when I was a beginner media student like David, I would have never thought that I was going to join the traveling class. So just don't ever stop, and you're going to love what you're going to do next.
David, what's your advice, David? I know you're not in advanced class, but you're going to be there very shortly. What's your advice?
Well, I mean, just start thinking about what you can do when you're that age. I mean, obviously she has making a PSA. I didn't even know what a PSA was when I was 5. I mean, the fact that she's doing that is amazing. But yeah, just keep thinking about it. When I was her age, I was just finding out about CKTV, and right when I heard about it, I was like learning everything I could. I had some older friends, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing? What can I do to prepare?" So I went to some friends for advice, and like I've been doing iMovie at home. You can try that and prepare as much as you can.
Yeah, I think with technology nowadays, you know, everyone has that thing in their pocket, right? That can actually do so many things that we couldn't do. Like when I was in high school, we had to film with like these giant cameras and these big tapes called VHS. And nobody really knows what a VHS tape is anymore. But we had to, you know, to edit video, I had to set up 2 boxes that were side by side called VCRs. Nobody knows what a VCR is anymore. And I had to put a tape into one VCR, cue it up to where I wanted it to play. Then I had to like get the other one ready to record, hit pause, and then hit record. And then on the other deck, you know, play the clip that I wanted. And at the same time, unpause the recorder. And then when that clip was done, I had to quickly pause that one again and then cue up the next shot. And then, you know, it was just such a time consuming process. I wish I had that video. I did a video in high school in my senior year because I didn't want to do a regular project. I was a little lazy. And so I said, hey, can I ask the teacher, Mrs. Psyche? She was my social studies teacher. Can we do a video instead? I wish I had it because it was probably so bad compared to what you guys are doing. You probably would just laugh at me. But, you know, like Gracie, just keep doing it, keep working hard and still, you know, keep making new videos and trying new things and using the cameras to tell your stories. And I think it's wonderful that, you know, you're that young and you want to get into this. And like the other students have said, just keep working at it.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah, there's our podcast.
Yeah, I just subscribed to the
Thank
Apple
you.
Podcast. So yeah, I'm not gonna go watch that. Maybe I can learn something. I am having a rough time learning or editing videos. I'm old and I'm trying to learn. I use YouTube a lot just to get, you know, training on how to edit videos. But I don't know. I can probably learn from you guys much better. You guys should all put together a class for old people.
Yeah, I think we can do that, right? Bring your iPhone and we'll teach you how to edit on your iPhone, right?
On the iPhone?
Yeah,
Ooh.
you can edit on the iPhone. You can.
Really?
There are apps. Yeah, there's a program called iMovie.
No, that's what I use. I'm using iMovie, but
yeah,
I'm using it on my desktop, but it's frustrating. I clip too much, not enough, and then it's that. You know?
And the thing that's scary with next year is that, you know, there's going to be so many changes that we're going to have to face. No one really knows, you know, how much this thing is going to affect us. I mean, we do know that there's going to have to be some sort of social distancing involved in our schools. And, you know, if you look, I think the CDC came out with some guidelines and how they want everybody 6 feet apart. And you can only fit that's only going to allow so many students in class at a time. So I really think, like, if there are, you know, parents out there and teachers out there, you know, use this summer to prepare, because things are going to be really different when school starts, and school's going to count in August. It's not like now, in which, you know, it's enrichment and you don't really have to do it. By the time school rolls around, they'll have figured out, hopefully, you know, a way that every student can have access to the material. And so school is going to count again. And when it does, it's going to look a lot different. You know, you're going to have some of your classes at home, and then you'll be coming to school maybe for part of the time, but you'll only see half the school. Maybe you may not see everybody at the same time. There are so many unknowns right now that schools are trying to figure out, the superintendent is trying to figure out, and it's going to be really interesting in the coming months to see what they plan to do in August, because they are planning to have students come back in August.
You know what might be
go ahead, Charlie.
what might be really interesting to note is that should we go through this like teleconferencing direction that they're doing now, and when school starts, and just to see the first quarter grades, what it would look like, and if it should skyrocket, then that might be the new way education is gonna take place. And I think this is gonna be it's gonna be a testing ground, because I have, having these kids, it's important to note that the thing that's going to be missing, I definitely know it's going to be that socializing, because they're going to be separated most of the time. And I think what's very important, I want to tell Gracie, Uncle Charlie was 5 at one time. Long time ago. If you heard of my good friend, he and I are buddies, George Washington. Yeah, that was my good friend. Anyway, everything comes about with socializing. But what they're talking about now is if that separation occurs, it's AI, everything's gonna be artificial in that way. So I think on one side, you're gonna have higher grades, but then on the other side, you're gonna lack the social skills of the interacting. That might be the danger. So I hope they can work something out.
And it's going to be tough because, even if, let's say every kid had access to the internet, had good, fast internet, had a device that they can use. For the older kids, it'll be a little bit easier, they can manage. But, you think like a student like Gracie, who's, 5 years old, and there's 30 Gracies trying to get into a Zoom call, and the teacher is trying to get their attention and, can't physically be there. And they're going to need, parents, like Daniel there to be there to make sure that, she's paying attention and she's listening and she's not playing with toys or different things. That presents a huge challenge for the younger kids. And I do not envy the elementary teachers, because that's going to be really tough. Like with our middle school guys, they're a little bit more independent. They can, log in on their own. They can use their devices. They can jump in on a call, and they don't really need a lot of support. But the younger ones are really, really going to need that support. And so it's going to be tough because, parents are going to want to go back to work. But then if, every other day their child has to be home, how do you do that? Right? How do you, have, a parent stay home, or a grandparent have to stay home and be responsible for, that child learning. So that's going to be really tough for sure.
Yeah, I think that, the social interaction with classmates, that's a huge part of learning and growing up. But the other part is with the teachers themselves. After high school, I went to KCC when KCC was a very small school, and a lot of the classes, you had to go on public TV. They had their classes were broadcast over the TV at a certain date and a certain time. There was no interaction whatsoever. You sit there, you take notes, you couldn't ask a question. And it's very tough to learn that way. And it's gonna force kids to be able to really take notes and understand. When I went to college late in my life, and I went online, and that made it difficult as well, because, kids, you got to be so disciplined to do things without a teacher reminding you, without the teachers checking up on you, without the ability to raise your hand and say, hey, Mr. Kevin, what do they call you, Mr. M?
Mr. M. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. M, can I? It's almost impossible to do it, especially if you have 30 people, like you said, on a Zoom call. So it's gonna create a whole different type of learning for you kids. Gracie, I'm not sure what grade are you in, Gracie? What is 5th grade? I mean, a 5-year kindergarten? Yeah, I don't know how do you, for let's say 1st grade, I mean, what do? You get all those 6-year-olds or 5-year-olds on a Zoom call, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be a whole new generation that we create now. And
it's going to be like checkers and pogo.
They don't know.
Yeah, we're showing our age. If we know what that is. right? The
Yeah.
kids have no idea who Checkers and Pogo is.
So what do you guys think, kids? What do you, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, you guys are you guys excited for August coming up? I mean, it's kind because you don't know, right? Nobody knows what it's gonna look like. How do you feel? And we'll start again. I'm just going by how you guys are set up on my screen, and I think everybody's screen is different. But Blaze, how how does that feel when you don't know what's gonna happen next? You know you can still do your work. You can. I see Blaze. What was your business name? Blazing Films.
No, that was my Instagram, but I changed it.
Well, that sounds like a cool company name, and you know now is a good opportunity for you guys to work on your art, your skill. You know this, you can do some amazing things with this media with the computer. But what do you think is going to be like in August? What are you trying to get the perspective from a young student? What's your perspective going forward?
I mean, it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be like going to school on the first day, especially because I'm gonna be going to high school. I'm gonna be a freshman, and it's gonna be my first time being a high schooler, and it's gonna be kind of different from first day freshman year, you know. And it's gonna be scary, but I feel like we're all gonna get through it, and we're all gonna get used to the new normal.
Malia?
Like Blaze said, it's definitely gonna be different. You know, we may not be able to see our friends on a daily basis. Who knows what we're gonna have to do or how our schedules are gonna have to change. But I think we definitely have to brace ourselves because we still need to get an education and learn these new things. So it's definitely gonna be something that we have to adapt to as well.
David.
Well, like Amalia said, we're definitely gonna have to adapt. But I also think it presents a new opportunity to be like, we can be the kids and prove to everyone that even with a little challenge, we can still come through this. And part of me is like, man, this is nerve-wracking. It's scary. What's going to happen? But then the other part of me really trusts my teachers and the staff at my school and everywhere else. And I think whatever they come up with, if we follow that strictly, I think we're all going to be okay.
Yeah, and you one heck of a teacher, so I think that's great advice. Gracie, I'm gonna unmute you right here. I'm gonna try to unmute you. I think you're gonna have to unmute yourself. Okay, there we go. So Gracie, what are you looking forward to going? You're gonna go to the first grade next?
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for these other 3 students here? What do you want to share with them?
Thank you.
Guys, I'm sorry. This is a little late for her. I've tried to get her on an earlier schedule just because of the way everything is. So this is when she started. But
Hey,
I know she's
Gracie.
thankful for the great advice, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you, Gracie. I know it's late. You're probably supposed to be in bed already, but we appreciate you hanging out with us and keep up what you're doing. I tell you, it's so impressive. 5 years old, like
She has a
David
YouTube
said.
channel, guys.
Huh?
Sorry, not shameless plug, but she has a YouTube channel and
Wow.
Oh,
Gracie Plays Hawaii.
what is it? I'm sorry.
Gracie Plays Hawaii.
Gracie Place, Hawaii. You
On
kidding
YouTube.
me?
No.
And what kind of videos do you have on your channel?
What kind of videos? Okay, we go out and do a lot of stuff as a family, and so she's just been inspired by a lot of kids who are into documenting all that stuff, and she has a lot of quite a few videos online, and I just try to capture everything, and it's just for sharing for family, but it's public, so you guys can see if you want.
I'm trying to find it. What is it called? Gracie? Gracie?
Yeah, all together. Gracie
Oh,
plays. Yeah, and I just posted it for
HAWA.
anybody watching because I saw people commenting, where can we see the PSA? It's on my Facebook, but it's also on her YouTube. I just uploaded it today.
That's awesome.
GRACIEPLACEHAWAII.
Plays.
Huh?
PL.
Oh, plays.
Yeah.
Aha, bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna subscribe right now. Ring
Not
my
even some
bell.
of our students have their own YouTube channel. So that's amazing, Gracie. Blaze has one. And so we do have some other students that do have channels, but that's amazing. And that's awesome.
There it is. Look at this. Oh man. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Cute.
She got 32 subscribers. She got more subscribers than I do on my YouTube channel. What the heck? Okay, Gracie, you're gonna have to teach me now. Wow, amazing.
I think she's gonna get a lot more after tonight.
Guys, all of you that are watching this, please go to Gracie Plays Hawaii and subscribe to her channel. Look at it, 113 views. Oh my goodness. I'm embarrassed. Gracie, can you teach me how to do it?
What do you?
Can you? Oh, I tell you, we're gonna have to. Pops, you're doing a good job, Daniel. You're doing a good job, man. Parents play such a key role in the development of our kids, and good job, Daniel. Amazing.
Thank you guys.
Anybody else has a YouTube channel?
I think Blaze has something. Yeah.
Blaze. I think Blaze got everything. He looks
Yeah.
like a professional.
He does. You should see his setup, his desk, his microphone and everything. He's got everything. He just got a new camera, so he's blazing.
Like at one point I was like Gracie and I was making YouTube videos actually when I was like that young, and I just kept following it, and you end up liking what you're doing, and it's been pretty fun.
What is your channel? What is your channel?
Blazing Films, like how I had it.
One word too.
BLAZIN. And then films.
With a Z. Films with a Z.
Films with a Z.
Hey Mel.
Yes.
One of the viewers said that you're gonna be one of Kevin's oldest students next year.
I actually am thinking about taking a class with him. Look, there's Blazing Films. Look at this. 161 subscribers. I just subscribed and I ring the bell. So I get to look at this thing.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, that's another one. Blazing Films, guys. When you guys if you guys have YouTube, go check it out. And don't forget my channel, Mel Raposo. I know Shane put mine up because mine have like 2 followers, me and my wife. Even Charlie never subscribed yet. I'm kind of hurt.
I didn't know you had on channel.
Where do you think we're putting all the videos, baboos?
Well, I thought it was Hawaii News Now. I check over there, I don't see them.
Any closing comments for you folks? Charlie, what advice you get for these kids, man? What Charlie comes, like he said, back in George Washington days. That's a long time ago.
Well, somebody said that, I go back a long time when man first learned how to walk upright. And I always tell people, because I'm half Chinese. I'm sorry, 1/4 Chinese. And then my great-great-grandfather died tragically climbing the Empire State Building. His last name was Kong, as in King Kong. But the advice I get to give to the kids is, whatever you love, keep on doing it. Because one, I definitely will tell you, it'll keep you out of trouble. Now, Uncle Mel and I, we come from a police background, so we have this certain way of thinking. And I am so proud that, all of my children, they walk the line. And, they know that I wouldn't stand for it. But, nowadays there's a lot of things that go on, you get tempted. But I think, I wish I would have taken advantage, watching just watching Gracie, how she upholds herself on this platform, knowing that there's a lot of people watching her. She has, she has style. So that means that, she's going to be somebody. She's going to be noticed one day, definitely, if not now. And as for my other friends, I met David when I dropped off his shirt. Show that shirt again, Dave. Show that shirt again. One more time, buddy. There you go. I went over to the house to drop it off, and that's how I found out about this, Kevin, was through David and the program that you had. And that's why we wanted to get you folks on tonight to kind of, share with everybody what you folks do. So I already knew about David. I didn't know about Amalia or Blaze, but I'm so glad that I got to hear them. And all I can tell them is, first of all, Blaze, you went into high school next year. High school is totally different from when Uncle Charlie went to school. I am a product of commitment school. But it wasn't easy, because especially if you have older brothers that you need to kind of fill their shoes, because they're all stars in football or whatever it is. But it seems like you love this, what you're doing now. Keep on doing it. There was a guy that worked over at Waimea Theater. I met him through Tom Niesel, and now he's an Emmy award-winning cameraman.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
Joey Kirstein. Yeah. We got to know Joey. Yeah, because what happened was Joey he came to Waimea High School, and I worked with his teacher, Mrs. Evans, out there. And I wrote a grant because I wanted my students to be able to do something in high school. And so I wrote a grant from the Kauai Economic Development Board to stream the football games. Remember those, Mel?
Right.
When we were streaming games. And I got to meet Joey. He was a fantastic student that jumped into her program, and it's awesome to see what he's doing now at Hawaii News Now. And you're right, he just won an Emmy for his work on that. Program.
When I first met him at the theater, and I performed there on several gigs, open up for different performers with my group. But here's this kid who loved to do sound, and then when I started to see him around town doing video work, and then he started to put all of that stuff together. And when I see this boy, and I told the wife, I said, "Hey, that's the kid from Waimea Theater." So, what I'm saying, Blaze, is what you're doing now, you're on the right track. And Amalia, I tell you, you're going to go places. And I feel it. And just keep on it. Because sometimes we get distracted real easy. But if you're doing this with a passion, just don't let it down. Like, I love music, so I spend the money, I buy the instruments. But you got to stick with it, because if not, the instruments is for nothing. It's just going to be on a wall hanging there and not doing anything. And that's my advice to you folks. No?
All right. Well, I'll just say that I am so thankful that you folks are on tonight. I saw Gracie's PSA. I think it was shared by Sherry Cummings, and I was just blown away. I didn't know that was the dad that was on the PSA. I thought it was a real doctor at a real hospital.
Good job, Dad. Good acting.
I really did. I'm like, wow. The logistics, what? Because you can't even get into the hospital over here unless you're sick, or, she must know people to allow her to walk into a hospital and interview a doctor. But anyway, it was the same time when Charlie had come across David, and it was just right then we said, we got to get the kids on. And then of course, Kevin, you just automatic. That's the go-to guy when you're dealing with kids in the media. You talked about that football when you guys did the football. I was honored to be able to announce for you guys, but that was a whole different. That gave everybody an opportunity to watch the high school football games from home. Especially when we started playing those weird hours, but it was awesome. And I missed that, actually. I really miss watching the games in you guys' format, your platform. But to all of you kids, man, like Charlie and everybody else is going to tell you throughout your life, do what you love to do. Don't do what people tell you to do. You find what you enjoy doing and you stick to it and get good at it. Get good at it. And 5 years old, Gracie, you're good at it already. You get better at it. All of you, every single one of you, find that passion and just work hard. You got to work hard. What you guys are doing right now, the opportunities are limitless, whether it's in music, in art, in video, in newscasting, in corporate America, where they all require media people. public service announcement. I mean, you guys, there's so many opportunities out there for you guys. You got to stick with it. When the distractions get in your way, when the little hiccups happen in your life, when all these little bumps in the road come up, you just go through it. Go through it. Stick to your passion, stick to your craft, your art, and don't let those hiccups derail you from your track. Don't do that. Stick with it. You guys are going to be so successful. At this age, I'm so impressed. And I just want to thank all of you for taking the time tonight. There's so many other things you could be doing tonight. And you guys chose to come on the show, and I appreciate you guys. Kevin, any closing comments before we head off? I know we're staying a little longer.
Hey, Kevin,
Oh.
I need to ask you a question first, Kevin. There's
Sure.
some people asking, what's Joey's last name?
Kirstine, Kirstine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I just want to thank Mel and Charlie for having us. Mel, you from your time on the council, you guys have always been so supportive of our students. Not just in our program, but just any student, any program that has done won an award or anything. You guys have always been there to back us up and to praise the kids and make them feel special. And thank you guys for doing that and for giving the kids an opportunity to come on and share some things tonight. Schools, like I said, we don't know what's coming, but I think what the students said tonight was that they're gonna do their best to adapt, and I think that's all we can ask. And kids are resilient, right? They're gonna power through whatever we throw at them. And as teachers, we just have to be ready. And so, like this summer, we're going to be doing some workshops for teachers. If teachers are out there and they're not sure about how to do some things, try and learn some stuff on YouTube, or, look at what the state is offering, because we all have to be prepared for, a vastly different school experience, come August. But we're still going to be there. Our teachers, are dedicated people. They're going to show up and do the best job that they can to do as much for the students as if they were still there in class. And we just gotta, kind of wait this thing out and stay safe. And hopefully we'll be together sooner than later.
Any of you guys want to say a last few words before we sign off tonight? David, you shake your head. No, really? Oh
That was
God.
a quick no.
I know. You just no. I'm done. Can I leave now? Can I go get my milk and cookies? Blaze, any words of advice for anybody?
I actually want to give advice to David. Now that I've lived through the CKTV experience, I feel like you're gonna really enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna make a bond with the class. You're gonna have a fun time next year.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. I will vouch for that.
Yes.
In our level 2 class, we give a lot of work. So David, he has to get ready for that.
Be prepared.
Yeah. Amalia, how about you?
Amalia?
Same as Blade, David, it may seem like tough at sometimes, but being in CKTV this year, I've had like a second family because we all got so close, and especially saying goodbye to the people moving on to high school, you make really good connections in this class. So it's going to be an exciting year next year, especially meeting new people. So, yeah.
Yeah, and me and Amalia will be working together too, so I look forward to that.
Absolutely.
I always look forward to like the podcasts and CKTV. You guys were right. She is one of the better. She's a.
Well, you guys all are amazing. You guys all are amazing. I gotta tell you, I am so impressed. It's I just am. And I sent you guys all my email on the. I don't know if you guys got it. Write that thing down, because if you guys come across a story that you want to be our co-host with Uncle Charlie and Uncle Mel, you shoot me an email. Let me know what you got, and we'll bring you guys on, and we can do a Facebook Live with us, and you can be our co-host. Okay? You gotta find a really good story though.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really good one, and then we'll get you guys on. Gracie, that goes for you too. Okay? You guys are all great. Hey, thank you guys again. We're gonna be signing off. Well, somebody already signed. David went. David took.
Oh.
Go ahead, Daniel.
No. Yeah. I just wanted to say, Kevin, your students are awesome, man. You guys are. I can't believe how much you guys are doing at your age. And as somebody, I work with technology, and a lot of what she's doing is pushing her in a certain direction a little bit. But you guys are doing a great job. You're awesome. I wish I had a teacher like that to support me and give me these tools, but keep going. Like you're telling the younger one, you guys keep going too. No, so Chuck, thank you very much, Gracie. Gracie actually wanted to ask you as a question.
Can I sing a song?
Yes. 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 Please. Hang on. She's gonna sing a song. Hang on. Boom.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
David. Just to let you know, David went off because he had a power outage in Omaha.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
so that's why he went off.
Live breaking news right there.
Actually, my light was flickering too a little bit.
Yeah. So the mom just texted me.
Gracie.
Gracie,
Tell them about
this song. What is it called?
So it's called The Crystal Gems.
Okay, there's this cartoon that she really likes called Steven Universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the theme song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
We are the crystal gems. We'll always save the day. But if you think we can, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl and Steven.
Good job, Gracie.
Nice job.
I didn't want that cameras to switch in the middle of the song, so I muted everybody here.
That was awesome, Gracie.
Just chicken skin moment. Thank you, Gracie, for blessing us with that. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing your daughter with us tonight. Thank you to all of our guests tonight. Kevin, you're doing a fabulous job as always. Keep up the good work.
Thank
We'll be
you.
hitting out. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we'll have General Kenneth Hara, the Adjutant General, will be our guest tomorrow night to share the updates. It changes every day, so that'll be a great show tomorrow night. Charlie, why are you laughing?
Is it an update?
I don't know what it is. Oh, there's David. He's back. So anyway, we definitely will have you guys back on. You know, as this thing changes, we can probably ask you guys to come back on and share what's going on. But until then, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. You guys all stay safe. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams. Don't let anybody take that away from you guys. We love you guys. God bless. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock with General Kenneth Hara. Aloha, everybody. Yeah, let's do the
Aloha.
shakas, everybody.
Aloha, you guys. Mahalo.
Aloha, guys. Take
Aloha.
care.